Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to give my no vote explanation regarding Senate Bill 1. Michiganders agree, and we in this chamber agree on the goal of lowering auto insurance rates in our state. From my first campaign until now, and certainly in my last campaign, it's an issue that residents have talked to me about on the doors, at community meetings, at coffee hours, and at several town halls, both ones that I've hosted and others that I've spoken at. And of course, living in Detroit, I know the story of high auto insurance rates pretty well myself. We all support reducing rates, but we have to do it, first of all, we have to actually reduce rates, but we also have to do it in a way that's the most responsible for our residents. In my conversations with residents in my district, they have had many questions about car insurance, and when they are given the opportunity to fully engage in a conversation and actually learn the details, they understand proposals like this are a step backward. I do not believe that this bill is the right way. And in fact, I don't think in a disagreement with my colleague from the 2nd District, this isn't about the perfect being the enemy of the good or anything like that. This is about this bill actually doing considerable harm to our communities. And I believe that our residents deserve better. Senate Bill 1 dramatically cuts important medical benefits without giving Michiganders the long-term rate reductions that are truly meaningful for their lives. DIFS still has no mechanism to make sure that the consumer gets a rate reduction until we put that in statute, and we failed to do that today. Michigan deserves better. Senate Bill 1 fails to truly address important factors in determining the high insurance costs that many of my residents pay simply because of what neighborhood they live in, or literally what side of a street or corner they live on. From zip codes to educational attainment, whether the individual is a widow or a veteran, to credit scores, these have been studied over and over again and determined to have a dramatic impact on what a driver is forced to pay. The difference between having a poor credit score and an excellent credit score can be nearly $3,400 in your car insurance premium. We need to fix these problems, and in fact, we have proposals in this chamber regarding this solution, and several members of the majority party have co-sponsored that. Unfortunately, this bill does not do that. Our residents deserve better. Let's talk about the $65.9 million increase in Medicaid costs after a 10-year period of enactment of this bill. I echo my colleague from the 13th District, and I believe that shifting costs is, again, not a solution. The people most likely to take a reduced benefit option are going to be those from lower income households, and putting some of my residents, and your residents too, into a position where they could be bankrupt and on Medicaid is not a solution. This bill will likely just widen the gap that we already have between those who have and those who are already struggling to get by. Michiganders deserve better. Here's the bottom line. Under this bill, the most vulnerable in our communities will be harmed. We must take care of people in their greatest time of need, when they suffer a traumatic car accident and end up with a disability or a brain injury. As lawmakers, it is our responsibility to keep vulnerable populations, the people struggling in our state, people with disabilities, first and foremost as we make decisions that greatly impact their lives. I don't know about you, but I'm here to fight for them, not their car insurance companies. There are great bipartisan ideas about how to reform auto no-fault in this chamber that would reduce rates through common sense reforms that I would bet many of us already agree on. So let's have a real conversation about this issue. Let's reform auto insurance in a way that's responsible and doesn't negatively impact the most vulnerable folks in our state in their greatest time of need. If any of this speech sounds familiar to some of you, it's because it's almost identical to my floor speech from 2017 in the House. And I have to say, it's a bit disappointing to me that we are here nearly a year and a half later, voting on a solution that is similarly irresponsible and without the thorough and deliberative conversations that Michiganders deserve to have on a major issue that impacts their lives. Colleagues, I urge you to vote no on Senate Bill 1, and I request that my remarks be printed in the Journal. Thank you, Mr. President.